G'day guys, we're out on this little side cut job at the moment. It's actually not too bad. It's a bit overcast today, but when the sun's out we get a good view of the water. So it hasn't been too bad of a job, except for the fact that it's all granite or rock here, so been a lot of jackhammering going on. So a couple of weeks into this job, so it's starting to get down to the sort of the nitty-gritty stuff. So like cleaning up the walls and sort of making them plumb. You can probably see there all the rock face, so got to clean up that. But as I am at the moment, I'm tracking over solid rocks, which as you can imagine probably isn't the best for the track frame and the chains and the grouses, so puts a lot of wear and tear on the machines, these types of jobs. But they do return good money, so I'm told anyway. But so I'm out here by myself doing two jobs, so doing the cutting and the hammering, trying to get the heights and the walls right, as I said. And then also down the bottom, and you can see we've got our wheel loader, so that's how we're loading our trucks at the moment. So the trucks are sitting down on the street. So the driveway is actually too steep to get any truck up at the moment, and it will probably be that way for the entirety of the job. So unless the truck's a four-wheel drive, there's no chance of it getting up. So yeah, I've been using the wheel loader, so picking up a load from where it's sitting. That's the bit of a stockpile I've had going. And yeah, have to reverse it down the driveway, it's that steep. So I go down forwards, the rear wheels just come up in the air, and for any of you who know how a wheel loader works, the only way it really steers is if all wheels are on the ground, so not ideal when you're sort of doing an endo down the hill. So anyway, yeah, reverse down, 3-point turn on the street, load the truck, and reverse back up the hill, 3-point turn back up the top here and get another load, and then repeat that process. So yeah, it's a slow going job, but you can't do anything about it when you're going to hammer the rock out. So we'll see how much I get done today. It is a bit what would you say? I wouldn't say depressing, but depressing's not the right word. But a bit disappointing, I guess. At the end of the day, you do your 9-10 hours of work and you sort of look back and go, I've achieved nothing. But can't really do it any other way. I do plan on getting our 5-tonner here with another operator, so we can sort of work in together. So I can be hammering with the 13-tonner, which I am in. So I can be hammering the rock, and the 5-tonner can just be pulling it away. You can only really hammer so much before the stroke of the actual chisel sort of runs out. So you sort of got to pull all the loose stuff out of the way so you can have a clear go at it. But that is the plan, so hopefully that comes to fruition, whatever the word is. So at the moment, sort of just do what we can. It's a bit hard sitting on the rock, you can't really get yourself level. I've got the blade luckily on this machine, so it does help, but because I've had to pull all the loose stuff that I can get to out of the way to expose all the solid rock, as you can probably see. So when my bucket is, that's solid rock, and then you can see where I've sort of dug out all the loose stuff. So I find it makes it much easier with the hammer if you've actually got a bit of room to break the solid rock off into. So just trying to turn around here, so I'm in an orbit spot. You can definitely hear the tracks. Do not enjoy it. Creaking and groaning going on outside, but nothing we can do about it. Anyway, I'll chuck the hammer on, see what I can do. Make sure I'm not going to fall off the edge. Buckets here. I got the GP bucket with the teeth, mud bucket, my ripper, and obviously the hammer. So together they're sort of getting through it, but very slowly. Jump out, put the hoses on and quickly give it a grease, and we'll get into it. Safe to say that the cabin mounts, or whatever the cab sits on, are pretty well worn out. The amount of vibration I get in here when I'm hammering, it's insane. So I usually use my headphones while I'm doing it, listen to music. At least it blocks out some of the ambient sounds. Probably won't video too much of this. Can't imagine it being the most enjoyable experience, watching and hearing a bloody jackhammer going. That's what I sort of mean with how I have this little, like a dugout in front of this rock, so I've got a little bit of room to rake it into, or for the rock to actually fall away into. This rock actually isn't too bad, so it's breaking up pretty easy, which is a bonus. But obviously still too hard for a bucket to rip through, so yeah, still got to get the hammer, but it doesn't take much, so that's always a plus. Anyway, I'll continue with this so you guys don't have to bear the sound of a bloody hammer. I'll come back to you when I've got a bit to show. Loader time, so just the truck won't down the bottom. Throw a load in him, so it's actually pretty time consuming doing this. I timed it before and it takes me about 25 minutes to load the truck by the time I do what I got to do to get up and down the hill each time. So doesn't feel like it, but when you actually time yourself and to see how you're going, it's surprising. So let's show you what I've got to sort of do. So sort of make sure the load isn't spilling everywhere out the bucket, because when I get down on the street, I don't want it dropping everywhere. Especially the big rocks. If a big rock lands on the road and the car hits it, then you won't hear the end of it. Anyway, so pick up the load and I've got to reverse back down the hill. As always, the camera never does it any justice, but you can imagine if a truck can't drive up here, that's saying something. We put cement treated down, cement treated crushed rock, so it's pretty much set as hard as concrete, but still not enough traction for a truck. So three-point turn on the road. Making a bit of a mess, but obviously I have to clean it all up after. Back into the driveway to square myself up. All the way back to the top. It's not the quickest of procedures. Something about loaders, they just feel so unstable, especially on angles. Probably because you sit so high up and you got your rubber wheels, rubber tyres, and then by the time you ton worth of weight out front. Just the centre of gravity isn't working in your favour, so that's partially the reason why it actually takes so long, because you can't just go flying down the hill. Because we had about 50 mil of rain over the weekend in some areas down where I am, which I think's, what's that, 2 inches for people in the States. But it's a fair bit for September, so we're in spring here in Australia, so where I am. Yeah, so all the rock's heavy now with all the water sitting in it. The driveway's starting to get a little bit of water on it, get a little bit slippery. That keeps us on our toes. Check both ways for traffic. Fortunate that it's actually a pretty quiet street. Touch wood. Haven't had too many dramas. In the actual truck, just because it is wet. If it was dry, I'd probably go 5, but don't want to be that guy that overloads someone's truck and something happens to him out on the road because the truck is overweight. So I don't think I'll be winning any popularity contests. Just play it safe. It's heavy because when I give it a bit of a shake, the back wheels pop off the air, pop off the ground. So yeah, I'll keep going with this, and we'll check back in when I jump back on the digger. Semi waiting in lines. goes. Oh, hopefully I can jump back in the digger. Alright, so I've hammered all the sort of rock I could get. Yeah, so I've just obviously taken the hammer off, put the GP bucket back on and try and scratch it up. Hopefully a lot of it's fairly soft so I can get at it, but we'll see. Breaking away all right. This section must be pretty shaly. You can sort of see how there's little chunks in it. And there seems to be like a lot of veins, I guess you call it, through the rock where it's all sort of splitting up. So it's, yeah, just a bit too much for the machine to do with a bucket, but once you get a few stress fractures in it, it seems to pull apart alright. So, but I'm sort of scratching up against more rock again now, so it's all in, must all be in layers. Which I guess, I don't know if you can see up against the wall, you can kind of see like little veins, so little layers of the rock. So it all sort of splits there nicely, but you kind of have to get a start in the next layer before you can start pulling it all apart. About 45 minutes to an hour worth of hammering in the area, so it's pulling up all right again. I'll have to set up the laser later on to see how we go with the height. jackhammering it. I've been busy loading trucks, but now I've run out of rock, so down the bottom, so I'll just throw this down. I think one truck's going to come back one more time, and that'll be it for the end of the day. So just watching the on-site mechanic do what he's doing, trying to get down the hill. Anyway, I'll throw this down. Hopefully by then the truck's back. Throw a load in him, and then that'll probably be it for the day. So, like I was saying earlier, don't get a whole lot done. So not in the rock anyway. Be a truckload anyway. 3:20 in the afternoon now, so this truck shouldn't be far off. And get up top and keep scratching. Yeah, if I said it earlier, I'm hoping to get a little 5-tonner here to help scratch away the rock. So should make it a little bit quicker in generating this fill. So at the moment it's been pretty slow going. this truck and get him loaded. Alright, so that's our last load going out now. So what are we? It's probably about 4 o'clock now. As you can see, there's a bit of a mess on the road, so I'll go shut the gates and lock up the machines and come down, shovel that out. Not that I'll video that. I don't think it's very entertaining watching someone on the broom and the shovel, but anyway, that's it's a day done, and that's sort of what most of these days have been like. So very slow progress, but we're chipping away at it, and that's all we can do. So alright, we'll catch you in the next one.